my name's Emily and today's video is about recycling old candles. Now I'm going to be making a container candle, so you need to make sure that the wax that you're using is previously from a container, such as a tea light or a glass jar. Now the reason that you don't want to use wax from a pillar candle is because these candles often have hardness in them, which is designed to shrink the wax as it dries. This is to enable it to be released from a mould easily. Now this is all fine, but if you were to put it into a container candle, it would leave an unsightly gap around the edge. So first and foremost, and most obvious, you're going to need some used candles. I also have some unused candles. I haven't used these ones because they don't really match any of the rooms around my house, and these ones because they're unscented and I'd like to scent them myself. Secondly, you're going to need a container to put your candle in. And thirdly, you're going to need some string to use as a wick. Now if you're going to make a nice big candle like this one, you're going to need some nice thick string. If you're making something small like a tea light, you're going to need thin string, otherwise it will burn down too quickly. So other things that you're going to need are thread and sellotape, a pair of scissors, some pliers, and something to melt your wax in. Now I'm using this plastic pot, but I've made sure that it is not going to melt at the bottom of my pan. You can also use a double burner if you have one. Now if you'd like to colour your wax, you can use wax crayons, but make sure that they are definitely wax, otherwise they won't melt into the rest of your wax properly. I've also got some scent here to scent my white candles. And I've got some pretty decorations to put around the side of the jar. I've got some glitter to put in the wax, and I've got some pretty ribbons to wrap around the edge of the jar. So that's everything that you're going to need. So let's get making the candles. The first thing you're going to want to do is to take the tea lights out of the holders. Now some of them you'll find you can just give them a push on the bottom and a little shake, and they'll just pop right out. Other ones, like this one, have glue on the bottom. So your best thing is to wedge a little knife in there. Doesn't matter if the wax breaks because you're going to be melting it anyway. And that just pops out that way. If you're using a jar that has a lid on it, you're going to want to make a mark on the bottom of the jar just to make sure that the wax doesn't go above this line. I'm using a little bit of sellotape here, just to mark where that line is, to make sure that the lid will be able to close properly. Now at the bottom of your tea lights, after you've opened them, you're going to find these with little bits of thread in. Now don't throw these away because you can use them to support your wick. You need to cut off a piece of string that is longer than the length of your jar. Simply thread it through. Use your pliers to nip. And there's your wick. Okay, now that the water is starting to boil, I'm going to put my plastic tub with my wax in into the pan and let it melt. Now that the wax has melted a little bit, I'm going to use my pliers with my wick earlier, and I'm going to dip it into the wax. Make sure it doesn't burn down too quickly. Okay, now I've tied a little knot with a piece of thread around my wick, and I'll show you what that's for in a second. Now that my wax is nice and melted, I'm going to remove it from the pan, place my wick right in the centre, and pour in a little bit of wax. I'm going to hold that for a few minutes to let it harden. So now that that's set, I'm going to take a piece of thread that I tied to it earlier, sellotape it either side just to make sure it stays centralized. the wax is fully melted, I'm going to take it out of here. So I'm going to gently pour it in. Now that the blue wax is dry, I'm going to melt my white wax in a fresh plastic tub so that the colour doesn't become contaminated. My white wax is now melted, and because it's unscented, I'm going to add some fresh lavender scented oil. I'm just going to give that a little stir with the back of the knife I was using earlier, and then bring in my candle back. I'm now going to pour the white wax into the big candle. Now I'm going to make sure that I don't go above the line that I marked out earlier, because I'm going to make sure that the lid is going to close. Now I'm just going to let that dry. As you can see, the wick has started to sag, so I'm just going to trim the top to make it lighter so that it won't bend so much. And then I'll save this part of the wick for my next candle. Okay, so this is my finished and dried candle. First thing I'm going to do is cut the wick. You want to leave it about 1 centimetre from the top. And there we are. Now you can leave it like this if you want, or you can decorate it. I've got some pretty see-through foil and slightly blue ribbon. Tie it in a pretty bow. And get some scissors and cut off the excess. I've also got some pretty butterflies here, which are self-adhesive. Just going to put one on there.